speaking in his latest dispatch, Commissioner's Corner, published on Sunday. And he said a lot there. The central argument, or the one that really catches my attention this morning, the piece, is the point of cameras as part of as an item rather, in the investigative toolkit
Mm-hmm.
of a body doing investigations.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, the police solved, that's what clear up means, he said, the police solved 91% of all murders committed in 2025.
Yes.
Yeah? Without body camera footage available in the not even body camera, without camera footage available in the overwhelming majority of those murders.
Mm-hmm.
We solved 91%. Now he's saying, how come it is being made to appear? And he didn't say Indicom has made it to appear that way, but he says, how come it is made to appear as if the reason Indicom ends up charging only 2% of police personnel for murder is because they don't have body cam footage. And he says, well, would you accept the police saying, boy, we can't solve murder because we don't have camera footage? So why are we accepting, he's saying, why are we accepting Indicom not bringing more criminal charges against police personnel? Because there is not any body cam footage. And he didn't say it, but you know how they say things these days. That makes sense. It's a strong argument. It's a very strong argument. And it goes to those who say that, the resources that are available to Indicom and the system not giving Indicom all the tools it needs. He says, look, an incident happens. Police personnel giving a statement in short order, very quickly. They are required to give a statement. Crime scene is processed immediately. Various
Firearm
witnesses,
seized. Firearm.
firearm seized. Yeah, firearm seized. So the gun is almost always available.
Mm-hmm.
Witnesses coming forward, even people who weren't able to volunteer. I will tell you what happened, even though you weren't on the scene, but you're volunteering. And him say when a murder happens, the police have to reconstruct that, have to imagine what happened. There's no gun. Suspects give no statement. And yet with all that and with those handicaps, we solve 91% of murders. So listening to his argument, how do you defeat that with another narrative? I'm keen to hear someone destroy the points he made for me, because I believe that those points are supreme.
As well, George, in relation to the cameras themselves and this continued narrative that there is a resistance within the Jamaica Constabulary Force to rolling out and giving their personal body-worn cameras, that is completely false. And the facts bear out that it not go so. Because you have an administration and a Jamaica Constabulary Force that has shown you through procurement that the body-worn cameras are being purchased and police personnel are being outfitted with the body-worn cameras and police stations are being outfitted with the equipment needed to store body-worn cameras properly. We've seen a number of police stations, including in my own parish, some of the police stations where the whatever is needed to set up in the police station to accommodate the body-worn cameras is being set up. Body-worn cameras are being deployed across the country. And I do agree with whichever of the authorities that said that the police would know much better how to deploy the resources they have than somebody who is on the periphery. They're the ones who are closest to the work that they do. So you can't stay from outer road and
Yeah.
telling the police how to deploy the resources they have. They know how their personnel will need what their personnel need. Yeah. So this continued narrative that there is this resistance, police don't want to use body worn cameras. No, you have to look at what is on the table in front of you. And what is on the table in front of you is obviously an administration and your police personnel who are working to ensure that year by year they continue to put more of those resources into the hands of the personnel doing the work out there. Yeah. Plus, what did they say about storage? I can imagine that. How many personnel are in the Jamaica Constabulary Force? Over 13,000?
14,000
Fourteen
thereabouts.
thousand on the ground?
Mhm.
Equipping 14,000 police personnel with body worn cameras right now, I'd imagine is a lot of money and would need a lot of work to ensure that, listen, 14,000 personnel out there having body worn cameras on for at least 8 hours for the day and having the storage capacity to do that cannot happen overnight. So this has to be something that is rolled out in phases, which is exactly what you're seeing happening. Yeah.
You know, the other thing to consider is this. There are some organizations, and some, not even organizations, like individuals. And I know people like to beat up on JFJ. JFJ have to do their advocacy work. And a lot of things are better by virtue of the JFJ's advocacy over the years. Settled that. But there are a lot of people who, what they're doing, based on what you said, Tana, setting themselves up to claim the I told you so gold medal. Because what they're effectively doing is saying, when it is that the JCF has deployed body cameras in satisfactory numbers, they will say, it is only because of our advocacy or my advocacy why the JCF has so many body cameras on the ground. If we didn't advocate for this, this wouldn't happen. And that's rubbish. That's not true. That is not true. It's not advocacy that has pushed the needle along. And I don't understand how people are in this country and seeing bureaucracy and seeing procurement slow so many things down. There are certain individuals in government now where you look at them and you see a walking bureaucracy, because it's like them wake up every day and go to work and say, oh, all right, we can't slow down today. Yeah? You know the processes that attend to the procurement of goods. And when that is raised, people are quick to, yeah, procurement issues are real, but there's no but to that. That is the maker or breaker of many activities in the country. And the fact is that nobody can say, in X time, the police have not submitted one document to seek to procure body cameras. If that were the argument, then the claim that the police have had to be dragged kicking and screaming into the body cam era would be true. Mm-hmm. But those efforts have been made. When you say that it take long to come, that's not their fault. Because the commissioner doesn't sign that check, send it by bearer to somewhere, and then send the delivery man to go pick up the items, or the company that gets the check sends the items, dispatches the items upon receipt of the check. And that's how it works. Mm-hmm. Once they do the paperwork and send it, it's out of their hands until they're told, yes, it's been approved, so the supplier will, the arrangement will kick in, or no, you have to do it all over, months later.
As was the case.
As was the case last year. Yes.
Cameras.
So, yeah, I want to hear those. And, some of you on some of the social media sites who specialize in, finding holes in everything. And a lot of you who you use made up names, you can't even use your own name to criticize and talk bad about things because you're afraid, very afraid. I want to hear you tell me why the commissioner's argument put on the table yesterday doesn't hold water. Tell me what are the deficiencies in the reasoning about our expectations of the police and our expectations of Indicom. And again, he did not say Indicom is making these arguments, but a lot of people certainly are. Mm-hmm.